Alex Wren had lived through things that no normal teenager was ever meant to face. At 14, she had fought in a war that most people never even knew happened. A shadow conflict fought far from the safety of human cities. She had learned to give orders that sent ships into danger. She had learned to stay calm while machine swarms tried to crush everything she protected. Now, 2 years later, she was 16 and trying to live on the peaceful colony world of Halcyon 3. She wanted to be normal. She wanted to be just another student. She wanted to forget the war, but her past did not let go easily. Alex stood outside Orion Ridge High, staring at the wide glass doors and the cheerful crowd of students walking inside. They laughed, shouted, teased each other, and moved with the relaxed confidence of people who had never fired a weapon or seen a ship explode in silent space. Alex watched them and felt like she was watching a different species entirely. She took a slow breath and forced herself to walk forward. Her footsteps were steady. Too steady, the kind of steps her old instructors had trained into her. She tried to slow down, to look casual, to blend in. But she could feel eyes on her already. People always stared at her longer than they should. She did not know if they sensed something strange about her, or if they were simply drawn to her expression, which was usually too calm, too controlled. Alex tried to smile at a girl passing by. The girl blinked, confused, and hurried into the building. Alex's smile faded. She wished she understood how to act like everyone else. Inside the school, the halls were bright and busy. Students were opening lockers, talking about weekend plans, and complaining about assignments. Alex listened to the noise and tried to let it wash over her, but old instincts kept interrupting. Her eyes tracked movements automatically. Her ears separated sound layers, normal chatter, footsteps, the hum of machines in the ceiling. The distant clatter of someone dropping something metal. Her senses were too sharp, always searching for danger. She hated it. She wanted to turn it off, but she could not. Her first class was history. She sat in the back corner, trying to make herself small, even though she knew she'd never truly blended in. The teacher spoke about the early colony ships that first came to Halcyon 3. About the struggles of the first settlers. Alex listened politely, but her mind drifted. She remembered briefing rooms filled with holograms of enemy drones, commanders arguing over the best tactics, the constant pressure of knowing that one mistake could cost thousands of lives. She had learned all of that before her 15th birthday. A soft voice whispered beside her. "Hey!" Alex turned. A boy with dark hair and kind eyes sat 2 seats away. He looked nervous but curious. "You're the new girl, right?" Alex nodded. She always felt a small jolt of fear when someone tried to talk to her. In the war, conversations often meant strategy, secrets, or danger. Here, it was only small talk, but her body did not know the difference. "I'm Theo," he said. "If you need help finding classes or anything, I can show you around."
Alex hesitated.
He seemed friendly, normal. She wanted normal. "Thank you," she said quietly. "I'm Alex." Theo smiled. "Cool name." Alex looked back at the teacher, but she felt a little tension in her shoulders release. Maybe she could handle this school after all. Maybe she could learn how to be a regular teenager. When class ended, Alex walked with Theo toward the cafeteria. He talked about school activities, funny teachers, and how the food tasted better on Tuesdays. Alex listened and answered when she could, though she knew her responses were probably too short. She was still learning how to talk without sounding like she was giving a military report. They reached the cafeteria. She followed Theo into the long line of students waiting for lunch. The room buzzed with noise. Alex's senses sharpened again, not out of fear, but habit. She tracked every person who moved too quickly, every object that clattered, every unfamiliar sound. Her heartbeat stayed steady, but her muscles tightened. There was no threat here. She repeated the thought in her head. No threat. No danger. This is normal. Alex. Theo's voice broke through her thoughts. You okay? You look like you're, analyzing everyone. Alex blinked. She had not realized how obvious she had been. It's just a habit, she said quietly. From what? He asked before he could stop himself. Then he winced. Sorry, you don't have to answer. Alex looked at him, unsure why she trusted him enough to say even a little truth. My old life was different, she said. I had to be careful. What? Theo nodded slowly. Well, you don't have to be here. People on Halcyon 3 freak out if a recycling bin tips over. Alex almost laughed. The sound surprised her. It had been a long time since something made her laugh. They sat together at a table, and other students joined them. A girl named Mari asked Alex where she came from. Alex gave the simplest possible answer. Far away. A tall boy named Brent asked what she liked to do. Alex froze, because she did not know. In the war, everything she did was for survival or strategy. She had never had hobbies. Theo jumped in. She's probably still settling in, he said, saving her from having to answer. Alex felt a small warmth in her chest. She appreciated the help more than she could say. After lunch, she headed to her next class alone. The halls had grown quieter. A few students whispered as she passed. She tried to ignore them. She tried to focus on her breathing. But her instincts flared again as a sudden vibration buzzed from the emergency intercom panel on the wall. It was only a test alarm, a normal colony alert test. But the sharp tone hit something deep inside Alex. Her vision blurred. And for a moment she wasn't in a school hallway, she was back in a command bunker deep below a defense station. Alarms blaring as enemy drones swarmed the outer shields. A hand touched her shoulder. Alex spun, grabbing the wrist before she even thought about it. Theo stood there, eyes wide. I'm sorry, she said quickly, releasing him. Shame washed through her. I didn't mean it's okay, Theo said softly, rubbing his wrist, but not stepping away. You looked scared. I was just checking on you. Alex shook her head. I wasn't scared. She paused. Just remembering. Theo hesitated, then asked quietly, was it bad? Alex looked down the empty hall. She had never told anyone on this planet the truth. She wasn't sure she was allowed to. Even thinking about it tightened her chest. But she answered honestly. Yes, it was very bad. His eyes softened. If you ever want to talk about it, I can listen. I won't tell anyone. Alex nodded, though she did not know if she would ever be able to share the things she had seen. The rest of the day passed more quietly. She kept her head down and tried to focus on schoolwork. But something inside her kept turning, something restless and uneasy. When classes ended, Alex walked toward the exit. The sky outside was a deep blue, with 2 moons beginning to rise. Students laughed and ran to their transit pods or buses. Alex paused at the top of the stairs, feeling the cool wind brush her face. For a moment, she almost felt peaceful. Then her wristcom buzzed. She frowned. She had locked its channels so no military signals could reach her. But the device vibrated again, harder this time. A cold pulse of past training shot through her. She stepped away from the crowd and tapped the screen. A single message appeared. No sender. No identification. Just one line of text. We know who you are, Alex's breath caught. Her fingers trembled slightly, the first visible sign of fear she had shown all day. She looked around the plaza, scanning faces, buildings, rooftops, shadows. Her heart beat faster, not from panic, but from the sharp focus of a soldier waking up after 2 years of pretending to be asleep. Another message blinked onto the screen. We remember you. Alex closed her eyes. She had hoped the war would never follow her here, to this quiet colony, to this fragile chance at a normal life. But deep in her chest, she felt the truth settle like a weight. Her past was not finished with her. She turned off the wristcom, slipped it into her pocket, and walked down the steps with steady, careful steps. She looked like a normal teenager heading home after class, but inside, Alex Wren knew the peaceful life she wanted might already be slipping away. The quiet war she survived had left shadows in the dark. Match between stars and those shadows had just found her again? Alex Wren walked home from school with slow steps, her mind replaying the message on her wrist calm again and again. The warm evening light of Halcyon 3 fell across neat streets, gardens filled with bright flowers and quiet transport pods humming past. Everything looked peaceful, normal, safe. But Alex no longer felt safe at all. Her instincts, the ones she had tried so hard to bury, had already begun waking up. "We know who you are. We remember you." The words would not leave her mind. She reached her small apartment, unlocked the door, and stepped inside. The place was tidy and simple, another attempt at normal life. A few plants by the window, a small study desk, and shelves with books she was trying to read to understand teenage life. She dropped her bag on the sofa and sat down slowly. For a long time, she didn't move. Her fingers touched her wristcom again. She didn't open the message. She didn't need to. Whoever sent it had found her, and that meant they could do it again. A sharp knock hit the door. Alex jumped to her feet instantly, body turning toward the sound with perfect balance, the way she had been trained. Her breathing slowed, her senses sharpened. She moved silently to the door, ready for anything. "Alex." The voice was familiar. Theo. Alex's muscles loosened. She opened the door. Theo stood there holding a small container. "My mom made noodles," he said. "She made too much again, so do you want some?" Alex blinked. The sudden shift from fear to something almost warm left her confused. "You came all the way here?" she asked. Theo shrugged. "It's like a 10-minute walk. Also, I wanted to check on you after that alarm thing. You seemed shaken." Alex hesitated, then stepped aside. "You can come in." Theo looked around as he entered. "Your place is really clean. I like order," Alex said simply. They sat at the small table. Theo opened the container and pushed it toward her. Alex stared at the food. She didn't need it. Her training had made her able to function on very little, but she took a bite anyway. "It's good." Ale smiled. "Told you? My mom's cooking beats school food any day." He watched her for a moment, his expression shifting. "Alex, can I ask something?" Alex froze slightly. "What? What happened today?" "You looked like you were going to collapse when the alarm rang." Alex looked down. She didn't know how to explain a war nobody was supposed to know existed. But Theo had been kind to her in a way nobody else had. Still, she wasn't ready. "It's something from my past," she said softly. "Something I'm trying to forget." Theo nodded. "Okay, you don't have to tell me. Just, if something's wrong, don't deal with it alone." Alex looked at him for a long moment. She didn't say anything, but inside, something shifted again. Trust. Small, fragile trust. After a while, Theo left, and the silence returned. Alex finally opened the Riscom messages. She studied each pixel of the text, every detail of signal patterns. Her mind switched into soldier mode without her. Permission. The signal wasn't from Halcyon-3. It wasn't from any human. Channeled her chest. Tightened, it matched one she had seen during the Quiet War. A machine network signal. Her nightmares had followed her that night. Alex barely slept. Every sound outside her window snapped her awake. Every shadow made her heart beat faster. By morning, she felt like she was back in the war, just waiting for the next attack. At school, she tried to act normal. She walked through the halls with her shoulders relaxed, her face calm. She knew how to hide her fear. She'd had practice, but the whispers around her were louder today. "Is that the new girl? Why does she move like that? She looks." Scary Alex ignored them. She went to class and sat quietly. But her attention kept drifting to the window, to the sky, to any place danger could come from. During a break between classes, she slipped out behind the gym building, where it was quiet. She pulled out the Riscom and began scanning for the source of the message. A weak signal. Flashed 1 kilometer outside the colony. Perimeter. Alex's breath caught. Someone or something was out. There she should have reported it to colony security. But she didn't trust them. In the war, she saw how slow adults could be, how blind they were to dangers that moved faster than human reaction times. She couldn't risk it. She had to see it herself. A branch snapped nearby. Alex, right, turned quickly, but it was only Theo walking toward her. "Hey," he said, stopping when he saw her tense posture. Sorry, didn't know you were busy. Alex quickly hid the wrist cum. I'm just getting some air. Theo studied her face. You don't look okay, Alex hesitated. She could lie, push him away, but something in her didn't want to. I have to check something after school, she said. Outside the colony? Theo's eyes widened. Outside? That's not allowed, I know, she said. But I need to go. Theo stepped closer. Then I'm going with you. Alex shook her head instantly. No, it's dangerous. I don't care, he said. You shouldn't go alone. Alex stared at him. Nobody had ever insisted on helping her before. In the war, she was always the one protecting others. Please, Theo said quietly. Let me go with you. Alex gave a slow nod. Okay, after school. The final bell rang hours later, and students rushed out. Alex and Theo slipped away through the side gate. They walked down a narrow path leading toward the forest that bordered the colony. Alex, Theo said as they walked, Can you at least tell me what we're looking for? Alex took a breath. A signal, she said. From something not human? Theo stopped. What do you mean, not human? Alex looked forward. I mean, it's something dangerous. Theo swallowed hard, but followed her anyway. The forest grew thicker. The sounds of the colony faded behind them. Alex's eyes scanned every direction, picking up tiny movements of branches, the rustle of small animals, the change in wind. Her senses felt sharper than they had in months. We're close, she said. Theo stayed right behind her. Whatever it is. Do we have a plan? Alex nodded. Run if I tell you. Theo gave a weak laugh. Not very comforting. They stepped into a clearing. Alex stopped. Theo froze beside her. In the center of the clearing lay a broken, metallic object, half buried in dirt and covered in scratches. Its surface was smooth and dark, shaped like a sharp seed. A faint, pulsing blue light blinked on its side. Theo whispered, What is that? Alex stepped closer slowly. She knew exactly what it was. A recon drone. A model she had encountered during the Quiet War. The machines had found Halcyon 3. The faint blue light blinked faster when Alex approached. She knelt beside the drone. The metal surface reflected her face older, now calmer, but still carrying the shadows of the child soldier she once was. A panel flickered open on the drone's surface. Alex grabbed Theo's arm and pulled him back. A projection rose from the drone, a small sphere of light. Then a voice spoke. We remember you. Theo's eyes widened. Alex, what is happening? Alex didn't answer. The voice continued. You escaped the battlefield. You hide now. But you are still marked. Theo looked at her in shock. Alex, who are they talking to? Alex felt cold all over. She forced herself to stand tall. I am Alex Wren, she said. Former tactical prodigy of the Quiet War. And I am not hiding. The projection pulsed. Then we will come for you. The drone sparked violently. Alex shouted, Move. She shoved Theo back as the drone exploded in a burst of blue flame and metal fragments. Alex threw herself over Theo, shielding him from the blast. Heat washed over her back. When the smoke cleared, Theo coughed and pushed himself up. Alex, are you okay? Alex stood slowly. Her clothes were singed. Her hands shook. Yes. Theo stared at her in awe and fear. You knew something like this could happen, she whispered. Why didn't you tell me? Alex looked at him, eyes full of a pain she rarely showed. Because I wanted one part of my life to be normal. Theo's expression softened. You're not alone, Alex. Whatever this is. I'm staying. Alex opened her mouth to answer, but then she saw something in the sky. A dark shape, moving fast. Not a bird, not a ship. Another. Drone Theo followed her gaze. Oh no. Alex grabbed his wrist. We have to run. He sprinted back toward the colony as the drone's shadow swept over the trees. Alex didn't look back. Her instincts screamed danger like they did during the war. The machines had found her. And this time, they weren't just watching. They were coming. Alex and Theo ran as fast as they could through the forest, branches whipping past them as the drone above circled lower. The sharp hum of its engine cut through the quiet evening air, growing louder with every second. Alex glanced back once and saw the dark shape turning, tracking them like a predator. "Faster," she shouted. Theo didn't argue. He pushed himself, even though she could tell he was already out of breath. She grabbed his hand and pulled him along, guiding him around roots and fallen branches. Her movements were quick and precise. The natural speed of someone who had lived too long in danger. The drone swooped lower. A beam of blue light swept the ground behind them. Alex yanked Theo to the side just before the beam burned a smoking line through the earth. Theo gasped. "It's trying to kill us." "Not us," Alex said. "Me." They reached the edge of the forest, the tall perimeter wall of the colony standing ahead. Alex scanned the area quickly. The patrol bots were on the far side. No guards nearby. Good. She didn't want the colony involved, not yet, over here. She called. A maintenance ladder clung to the side of the wall, half hidden by vines. She pushed Theo toward it. "Climb now. What about you?" he asked breathlessly. "I'll be right behind you." Theo climbed. Alex waited until he was halfway up before grabbing the ladder herself. The drone shot out of the trees and aimed directly at them. Alex looked down. Seconds. She climbed faster. The drone fired. Light hit the wall just below her feet. Heat burned her legs, but she kept climbing. Theo reached the top and swung himself over. He reached down for her. "Alex, give me your hand." Alex jumped the last meter, grabbed Theo's wrist, and pulled herself over the edge just as the drone fired again. The beam struck the wall and sent sparks flying. Alex and Theo collapsed on the flat walkway on top of the wall. Alex stood quickly and looked over the edge. The drone hovered at the forest line, watching. But it didn't fire again. Instead, it slowly drifted back into the trees. Theo coughed, holding his chest. "Why? Why did it stop?" Alex stared at the forest. "Because it knows I saw the message," she said. "It knows I understand what's coming." Theo's voice was small. "What is coming?" Alex turned to him, her expression serious and calm in a way no normal teenager should be. "A war we thought was over," climbed down from the wall inside the colony and slipped into an empty alley. Theo paced back and forth, still shaken. "Alex, you have to tell someone," he said. "Colony security. Your guardian. Anyone. This is too big." "Can't," she replied. He stopped pacing. "Why not?" "Because they won't believe me," she said. "And even if they do, they'll try to lock me up, question me, control me." "That happened before." Theo frowned. "Before? What do you mean?" Alex took a slow breath. She had kept her past buried for so long. But now, with Theo involved, with the machines already here, she knew she couldn't hide everything anymore. 2 years ago, Alex began. "When I was 14, I fought in the Quiet War." Theo stared. "The Quiet War? That's a rumor, myth. It's real," she said. "Humans fought a machine network that lives in the deep dark beyond the outer planets. They don't communicate like we do. They don't negotiate. They only expand." Theo swallowed nervously. "And you? You were a soldier?" Alex nodded slowly. "They called me a tactical prodigy. I didn't want to fight, but they chose me because my mind worked in a way they could use. I could predict movements, strategies. I could understand patterns other people missed." Theo listened silently. "I helped stop the machines," Alex said. "I helped save entire stations. But after the war ended, we thought it ended, they let me go. They said I could start a normal life." She looked down. "But maybe the machines didn't forget me. Maybe they marked me." Theo ran a hand through his hair. "So the message, the drone, it's all connected to that." "Yes," Alex said. "They're watching the colony. They're watching me." Theo stepped closer. "Then we need help. You can't battle this alone." Alex sighed. "I know, but I can't trust the government yet." "Then trust me," Theo said. Alex met his eyes. She found no fear there, only determination. Okay, she said quietly. I trust you. The next day at school, Alex pretended everything was normal. But inside, she was listening, watching, planning. Her instincts were fully awake now. Every sound felt sharper. Every movement caught her attention. In her first class, she noticed the lights flicker for a moment. In her second class, she felt a strange vibration through the floor. During lunch, her wristcom buzzed with a silent notification, another coded signal. The machines were sending short bursts of data, probing, testing, searching, .ALYX. Turned off the wristcom and tried to focus on the food in front of her. Theo sat across from her, eyes studying her face. You felt something, didn't you? He asked quietly. Alex didn't answer right away. Then she nodded. They're beginning. Theo's hands tightened around his cup. What do we do? Alex looked around the cafeteria. So many teenagers laughing, talking, unaware that danger was creeping closer. She swallowed hard. I have to figure out what their plan is, she said. Before they do something big. Theo nodded. We'll figure it out together. Alex looked at him, surprised again by the certainty in his voice. Together, the word felt strange, but warm. After school, they met behind the gym again. Alex pulled out a small tool set from her bag, something she kept hidden for emergencies. What's that? Theo asked. A signal scanner, Alex said. I built it during the war. Can trace frequencies that humans can't detect normally. Theo watched as she activated it. Thin holographic display flickered above the device. A pulse appeared on the screen. Alex zoomed in. Theo leaned closer. What does it mean? Alex's face darkened. It means the machines sent another drone. This time, inside the colony. Theo's eyes widened. Inside? How? They probably sent a small infiltrator unit, Alex said. They're scouting, gathering data, looking for weaknesses. Theo swallowed hard. Where is it now? Data. Alex adjusted the scanner. A map of the colony appeared. A blinking dot marked a point near the water processing plant. Alex felt her stomach tighten. There, Theo looked nervous. Are we going after it? Not we, Alex said firmly. Just me. Theo shook his head. No, I'm not leaving you alone with something like that. Alex looked frustrated. Theo, I'm going, he said again. I won't get in your way, but I'm not letting you do this alone. Alex stared at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Double quotes. Fine, but stay behind me. The water processing plant was quiet as they approached in the fading light. Steam drifted from vents, and the hum of machinery echoed softly. This place is creepy at night, Theo whispered. Alex scanned the area. Stay alert. They stepped through a side door left slightly open. Inside, the smell of heated metal filled the air. Pipes lined the walls like tangled veins. The scanner showed the drone's signal close. Alex moved silently through the narrow walkway, Theo staying close. A noise echoed, metal scraping. Theo stiffened. What was that? Alex raised a hand. Stay still. Something moved in the shadows. A small shape crawled along the pipes, its legs gripping metal. Its body was sleek and dark, with a glowing core pulsing faintly. A micro-dash drone. It turned its mechanical head toward them. Theo whispered, It sees us. The drone leaped. Alex reacted instantly. She grabbed a metal bar from the ground and swung it with precision. The drone slammed into the wall, sparks flying. But it wasn't destroyed. It crawled back up quickly, faster than Theo could follow. Alex shouted behind me. Theo ducked. The drone lunged again. Alex blocked, grabbed its leg, and slammed it into the floor. The drone's core flickered wildly. It tried to crawl away, but Alex pinned it with her boot. She pressed on the core. The drone made a faint, digital hiss. Then a voice came through its speaker, marked Girl Found. Theo's breath caught. Alex felt cold. Why are you here? The drone replied, Prepare. Alex pressed harder. Prepare for what? The drone's core glowed brighter. Then it said one word. Arrival. Alex's eyes widened. Theo whispered Alex. What does that mean? Before she could answer, the drone exploded. Alex shielded Theo again as metal shards flew. Silence fell. The scanner in Alex's hand beeped. Ah, the new signal appeared. Bigger, closer. Alex stared at the screen. Her voice came out soft and tense. They're coming. Alex stood in the command chamber of Halcyon 3's Defense Authority, surrounded by adults who spoke in sharp voices and fast words. She felt their eyes on her, some filled with expectation, some with fear, and some with doubt. It was the same look she had seen years ago, when she was 14 and placed in a warship command seat for the first time. But now she was 16, and she did not want this life anymore. She wished she was back at school, sitting at a desk, listening to quiet lessons, or complaining about homework with her friends. But the moment the machine infiltrators appeared in orbit, everything changed. Her past crashed through the door and dragged her into the center of attention. The defense. Authority officers asked question after question. How did she know the drone's design? Why had she kept it a secret? Why did the machine network target Halcyon 3? Why did the message say they remembered her? Alex answered in simple words, because simple words were all she had the energy for. She explained that during the Quiet War, she was part of a covert strategy unit. She explained that the network used special frequencies that only augmented minds could hear. She explained that she recognized their tactics from the moment the drone crashed. And as she spoke, a quiet fear moved across the room. Not fear of the machines, fear of her. A girl who knew too much. A girl who carried secrets inside her mind. A girl who survived things no child should see. Alex looked away from their faces. She did not want to be that person anymore. But outside the chamber windows, the first signs of an attack glowed in the sky's small falling lights, silent and cold as they entered the atmosphere. She knew what they were. She had seen them break ships and cities before. Machine infiltrator capsules? The officers rushed to the windows. Some shouted orders. Others grabbed communication devices. The colony's alarm sirens started rising in the distance. Shaking the glass, Alex felt the sound of the sirens inside her chest. It was too familiar. It pulled her back to the war, to the dark corridors of a ship where metal trembled and lights flickered. She remembered the heavy footsteps of machines closing in, and the fear that felt too big for her small body. She closed her eyes and breathed slowly. She had spent 2 years trying to learn how to breathe like a normal teenager. Now she needed it more than ever. Commander Reese, a tall man with gray eyes, stepped in front of her. Alex, we need your help. You know how they think. Alex opened her eyes. She did not want this. She did not want to return to being a weapon. But she also knew what would happen without her. The machines chose Halcyon 3 for a reason. They wanted her. And if she did nothing, everyone she had met the friend she was. Slowly learning to trust, the teachers who believed she could live a peaceful life. The colony that became a home would be destroyed. A normal teen life would mean nothing if there was no world left to live it in. Alex swallowed hard. Then she nodded. Tell me what you know, Commander Reese said. Alex stepped forward to the holomap display. Her hands shook a little, but she pressed them against the console to hide it. The machine network uses infiltration units first, she said. Small, quiet. They land near power systems and communication hubs. They spread fast and disable defenses from inside. On the map, she pointed to the colony's power relay station and central comm tower. They'll go here first. They want to blind you. Officer Vanna frowned. How can you be sure? Because that's what I would do, Alex said softly. Silence followed her words. Heavy, complicated silence. She hated that silence. It made her feel like she was back at war. A new alert flashed across the holomap. Multiple landings detected. Alex took a deep breath. She could handle this. She had done worse. She just needed to stay calm. Send your teams to block the relay station. And lock down the tower no one enters without ID check. Reese nodded at his officers, who rushed out to transmit orders. But Alex remained still. Something was wrong. She looked at the map again. The landing sites formed a pattern. A strange shape she recognized from a battle years ago. No, she whispered. They're not trying to blind you. They're trying to cut off escape routes. Reese turned sharply. Explain. Alex tapped the pattern. This formation traps civilians in the center. The network wants hostages. They want to force me out. Force you? Vanna asked. Why would they care about one girl? Alex hesitated. Her voice lowered. Because I beat them once. The adults stared at her with a mix of disbelief and awe. But there was no time to explain. The machines were already moving. A sudden crash echoed through the colony. Lights flickered. The ground trembled. Alex looked out the window. The first infiltrators had reached the perimeter. They moved like shadows, their metal bodies dark and smooth. Not humanoid. Not alive. But fast, with long limbs that bent in unnatural ways. A group of civilians screamed and ran. While security teams fired stun rounds that barely slowed the machines, Alex felt something inside her snap. Into place a part of herself she had tried to bury, the soldier part. She turned toward the officers. You need to evacuate the central district now. They will break through in minutes. Reese grabbed his communicator. All units, initiate civilian evacuation. Move now. The chamber became chaos, officers shouting, screens flashing warnings, alarms ringing constantly. Alex ran toward the exit. Reese caught her arm. Where are you going? To help, she said. His grip tightened. Alex, you're a civilian now. You don't have to, she pulled her arm free. Do, because if I don't, you'll lose more people. Before he could respond, she sprinted out of the chamber. The hallways were crowded with Russian colonists. Parents called for their children. Lights blinked as power fluctuated. A robotic voice repeated evacuation instructions. The smell of fear filled the air, sharp, familiar. Alex moved through the crowd quickly, slipping between people with the grace of someone trained for battlefield chaos. She reached the outside plaza. There. The first wave of infiltrators attacked the northern gate. Security officers struggled to hold them back. Sparks flew as metal limbs struck barriers. The machines climbed walls with frightening ease. Alex scanned the scene. She saw weak points. She saw patterns. She saw exactly where to strike. Her heart pounded. Her hands trembled. But her mind sharpened. She grabbed a dropped-cum tablet from the ground and accessed the security network. Her augmentations recognized the system. Instantly, she sent a quick command. All emergency lights in the plaza blinked twice. Security officers looked around in confusion. Alex shouted, "Left flank. They're climbing." The officers snapped to action, redirecting fire to the weak point Alex identified. The first machine fell, tumbling from the wall. More came. Many more. Alex jumped onto a nearby maintenance crate to get a better view. She shouted instructions without thinking. Short, simple, clear, block that alley. Don't let them circle behind you. Move your line back. They're aiming for the relay junction. Shut down the lower vents. They'll use them to crawl inside. The officers listened. The civilians ran. The colony fought. And slowly, the tide steadied. Alex saw hope. Real hope? The machines were strong. But the colony was stronger when united. Then she noticed something strange. A figure stood on a nearby rooftop, tall. Dark shape, not a machine. Not human. Something between. It watched her with cold, glowing eyes. Alex froze. She knew that form. A command unit. Leader of the machine network. And it was watching her. No one else seemed to notice it. The command unit raised one long arm. It pointed directly at her. Alex's breath caught. It spoke in a voice that echoed inside her mind. "We remember you." Alex ran. Her heart stopped for a moment. She staggered back. The command unit continued. Its cold voice filling her head. "You cannot escape what you are." The machines below surged forward with renewed strength. Alex stared at the command unit, fear twisting inside her. But then she looked down at the colonyat, the people fighting, at the families running to safety. At the officers who trusted her, she straightened. "I'm not who I was," she whispered, "but I will protect them." The command unit tilted its head, as if curious. Alex jumped off the crate and ran to join the defenders. She was not a soldier anymore. But she was something else. Someone who had chosen to fight, not because she was ordered to, but because she wanted to protect her home, and that choice gave her strength she never had at 14. The machines pushed in. Alex pushed back. The battle for Halcyon 3 had truly begun. The battle for Halcyon 3 lasted through the night. The sky burned with falling sparks, and the streets shook with metal crashes and echoing alarms. But when dawn finally rose, soft and pale, the machine infiltrators were silent. Their bodies lay across the ground like pieces of broken shadow. Smoke drifted in thin lines from disabled circuits. The colony was damaged, shaken, and frightened but still alive. Alex stood in the middle of the plaza, her breath unsteady, her arms trembling from exhaustion. She felt every second of the long night in her bones. She was 16, but nights like this made her feel 50. She wiped dust from her face and looked around at the people who were slowly coming out from shelters. Families hugged each other with relief. Officers helped the wounded. Volunteers carried supplies. Even in fear, the colony pulled itself together. Alex had helped them survive. And now, she felt a strange mix of pride and sadness. Pride because she had protected her home. Sadness because fighting never left her not, even when she tried so hard to be normal. Commander Reese walked toward her, his arm wrapped in a temporary bandage. He looked tired but calm. When he reached her, he stopped and raised his hand in a quiet salute. "You saved many lives last night," he said. Alex shook her head softly. "Everyone saved each other. I just helped a little." Reese gave a small smile. "You helped a lot more than a little." Before Alex could reply, the ground under her feet vibrated with a sudden signal pulse. It wasn't physical, she felt it inside her mind. It's like a whisper brushing past her thoughts. She froze. Reese noticed her expression. "Alex, what's wrong?" She didn't answer. She listened. Another pulse came faint but clear. The same frequency she had known during the quiet war. The same frequency from the crashed drone. A message from the machine network. A single word formed in her mind. Retreat. Alex blinked. Retreat? Why? The network never retreated without reason. Machines didn't fear. They withdrew only when calculating something greater. Cold worry filled her. But then another sound reached her, the weak hum of a damaged machine behind a broken wall. A small infiltrator unit, half crushed, tried to crawl away. Its red eye flickered weakly. Alex approached it slowly. Reese followed, but stayed back as she crouched beside the damaged machine. Its eye brightened when it saw her. "You are the variable," it said in a broken mechanical voice. "You change the outcomes." Alex's chest tightened. "Why attack us?" "To test," the machine replied. "To confirm?" "Confirm what?" "That you still exist." Alex went quiet. She didn't know whether to feel angry or afraid. The machine continued, its voice fading. "Command unit will return. It seeks equilibrium. It seeks to understand you." "Understand me?" She whispered. "You disrupt patterns," the machine said. "Human minds are predictable. Yours is not." Then its eye dimmed completely, and the machine became silent metal. Alex stood slowly. Reese looked at her with concern. "What did it say?" he asked. Alex took a long breath. "They're not done. This wasn't a full attack. It was a test." Reese frowned. "Why test us?" Alex looked up at the morning sky, where faint trails of smoke curled like soft gray ribbons. "Because of me." The words felt heavy. She didn't want machines, wars, or memories from her childhood to control her future. She wanted school days, quiet mornings, silly conversations with friends, things she had never been allowed to have. Reese placed a hand on her shoulder gently. "You don't have to face them alone. Halcyon 3 stands with you now." Alex gave a small, tired smile. "Thank you. But I'm not going back to the military." "Not again," I know, Reese said. "And we won't ask you to." Alex was surprised. "You won't?" "You helped because you wanted to," he said. "That is more powerful than any forced command. You're not a soldier anymore. You're a citizen. A girl with a life. We should protect that." Alex felt a big wave of relief. She never expected adults, especially ones in authority, to say something so understanding, Reese continued. "But we would like one thing." Alex tensed. "What thing?" Let us set up a new defense team trained to follow your strategies. You won't fight. You'll just advise when you want to. No pressure. No orders. Alex slowly nodded. That feels okay. She didn't want to command ships or lead battles anymore. But sharing knowledge to keep people safe? That felt different. That felt like something she could do without losing herself. They walked back to the plaza. Many people approached Alex, thanking her, smiling at her, calling her brave. She didn't know how to handle the attention. She gave small nods and simple smiles. One small boy ran up to her and held out a broken metal toy shaped like a starfighter. "You're a real hero," he said. Alex gently fixed the toy's wing and returned it to him. Not a hero, just someone who cares. The boy grinned and ran back to his parents. As the day moved forward, the colony began repairs. Drones cleared debris. Engineers rewired damaged panels. Volunteers distributed food and water. The night's terror slowly changed into a morning of rebuilding. Alex walked through the streets, watching everyone work together. This was what she wanted to protect. Not battlefields, not fleets, not orders. Just people, just life. When she reached the school district, she paused. The building had a cracked window and a damaged walkway, but it was still standing. Her classroom was still there. Her desk was still there. Her normal life, at least a piece of it, was still reachable. She walked inside and sat at her desk. The room was empty and quiet. Sunlight fell gently across the floor. She placed her hands on the desk and let herself breathe. Slowly, this was what she wanted. Simplicity. Peace. A chance to grow like a real teenager. Not like a weapon. She closed her eyes. For the first time in years, she felt safe. A soft knock came from the doorway. Alex opened her eyes and turned. Her friend Lyra stood there, holding 2 warm drinks from the cafeteria. "Thought you might want company," Lyra said. Alex felt her chest warm. "Thank you." Lyra sat beside her. "You were amazing last night. But are you okay?" Alex took one of the drinks and stared at it for a moment. "I think I will be. I'm tired. But I'm okay." Lyra nodded. "Good, because we still have exams next week. And you promised you'd help me study. War or not." Alex laughed, softly, a real laugh. Light and natural. "I did promise." They sat together in quiet comfort, sipping warm drinks as sunlight filled the classroom. It was peaceful, normal, exactly what Alex had wanted. But she also knew something else. Peace was not forever. The machine network would return one day. The command unit had not forgotten her. It was somewhere out there, waiting, thinking, calculating. And when that day came, Alex would be ready. Not because she was forced. Not because she was a soldier, but because she had something worth protecting: friends, home. A chance at a future. She looked out the window at the bright sky. Halcyon-3 was her home. Her life was her own. And she would fight again only if she chose to, not as a weapon, but as a person. For now. She was just a teenager sitting in a classroom, holding a warm drink, watching a new day begin, and that was enough.